This is DJ coming at you from the Fiero barn. Today, I have my 5-speed getrag transmission. Yay! What's going on with this transmission is we are going to be splitting the case. And I will show you why. So we come over here to Windy. Right there is Western's transmissions kit. So, what is in here, right? Let's hop on over here. I am not gonna lie, out of all the years of looking for Fiero transmission parts, I was about ready to just give up. But, hopping on forums, finally, someone out of like 80 people that was pretty much saying we're screwed was like, has anyone message Western's transmission in Minnesota? Right there. Midwest Transmissions, Minnesota. So, sadly, to give you some information, some insight of what's going on, my 4-speed M17 that I had in this car exploded one day. I spent years trying to find M17 parts. Sadly enough, we still can't find M17 parts. Mainly the 4th gear synchro is probably what the weakest link is in that transmission. Because out of 3 M17s, 4th gear always grinds. And I've split the cases on them, and the 4th gear synchro is broken. I contacted Synchrotech, and they said as long as I can get 200 to 300 people to go in on it, they can build me a transmission kit for it. But 300 people with 4 speeds, that's very challenging. Yeah. Another thing is if you've never split a case before and you're like starting out like beginner, I wish the M17 had parts, because the M17 4-speed Fiero transmission that I split the case on, super easy. We're gonna find out just how hard this one is, if not the same. If it is the same, then guess what? 5-speed, go for it. Long story short, what's in the box, right? There they are. Gave me new axle seals. That's awesome, because these are almost like $60 alone. Gave me a new cover, which very happy about that, because someone either broke it or cut a hole in it and siliconed it, thinking that, hey, new cover. The gold synchronizers. What is also cool about this kit is he partnered with Rodney Dickman, and he includes Rodney Dickman instructions for the input shaft bearing sleeve. So I will be covering this too. He included all the tools necessary. Right here is the jig to drill the holes. This is the sleeve. It's just one part of the sleeve, of course. The unobtainable bearing that you can't find no more, which very happy. The plug. And where is it? There it is. The die cast shaver, so that we can cut and not mess it up. Pretty cool. I don't think there's anything missing in this kit. There's bushings, there's every bearing possible. Like I said, very stoked on this. So we are going to be rebuilding my Fiero's 5-speed transmission today using this kit. So, this is gonna be really cool. What I am gonna do is take things apart, tell you what I took apart, because I like to listen to music. And listening to music, I can't record the camera at the same time, and it's just it helps me through the process. See what else we find in there. Scott over at Midwest Trans told me that if there's any problem with gears or other parts inside this transmission that I wasn't hoping to find broken, he says he has them all, so stoked. Let me get to work. So I finally managed to remove that cover. Whoever got in here before me decided that gluing it in was a better solution. That is not true. That's not a good solution at all. This is where the detent stuff is. So all your springs and your little check balls are inside here. This has to come out first. So we're gonna make sure to remove these, grab the check balls, the springs, put them off to the side, and once that's done, we then should be able to remove the bolts and split the case. So here goes nothing. So I removed those 2 bolts, and to give you an idea, this thing is actually under tension. To re-bolt it back down, you're gonna have to get it in order, right, where all the springs and the balls have to be, and you're basically gonna have to try and pry it like this to get a bolt back in, and then work each side. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, that's this is the detent system. Like I said, I just got to remove those off the springs, and then this plate should just pop out. There's just 4, so just 4 of them. It's probably easier than I'm making it seem, but just giving anyone a heads up, whoever wants to tear apart their transmission. So with the detent system removed, don't worry about which ball goes where. You can if you want, but they're all the same size. So all those little BBs in there, they're all the same size. The reason why I'm making this part is because this guy right here, he has to come out. So I'm going to try and get it underneath on each side and just pry him up. And that should be it for right here. And then the rest is just flipping this back over, splitting the case, and see where it goes. If it's anything like the M17, the 4-speed, it's going to be like this. And the only way I'm going to know is if I do it. Because what's crazy is about the 4-speed, when I took that all apart to see what was going on, the gear set, I was having a hard time splitting the case. I was like, what is going on? And when the majority of the assembly almost fell out, I was like, okay. So this is how an M17 would be. You'd actually take the bell housing off here. Everything would stay in the casing here. And I have a feeling, a good feeling, that that's exactly what this is going to do too. Because they're of the same breed. I mean, we'll find out. The only difference is it didn't have a detent system inside. It had a couple bolts in the casing that you just removed and used a magnet to fish out springs in the check ball. Yeah, so we'll see. So I almost got the case split. The bracket back here has to come off, and there's another one right there that has to come out in order. He might be able to stay because of this cap right here, but I just need him loose enough. But the only way to get to him was I had to remove this bracket over here, which hopefully none of you guys have to run into on yours. It sits just like right here. And what happened, just like that, what happened was whoever owned this before welded the bolt to the bracket. I don't know why, but I was having fun trying to get him out. I was trying to use map gas torches, you name it. And what happened was I finally went and grabbed the grinder and realized that there was welds around the head. And so I cut the head off, it's right there. And it was just tack welded the bracket, which made no sense. But once I cut the head off, I pulled this out, and then I was like, well, I'm kind of going to deal with the bolt. So I drilled the bolt before I started doing anything crazy. I drilled through it, and sure enough, when I drilled through it, it started to move. And I was like, okay. So I grabbed vice grips, and I worked them out. There's nothing wrong with the threads. Why this was tack welded to the bracket, I don't know. But drilling him, as you can see, I was off. I wasn't really drilling center. But that was because of the way the casing was. I don't have a long enough drill bit to really be down there where I need to be. But, long story short, I used Windex as the lubrication because I heard good rumor that Windex is what they use to drill with titanium. And just figured I'd throw it out there. I heard through a good person that explained it. I'd say his name, but I don't know if he wants to. I don't know if it's one of those ancient secrets that, you know. So I'd rather not. But I am going to say that using Windex on a hardened bolt, it actually drilled through pretty good. All right, back to work, guys. I'm going to split the case. Okay, so just like I thought, like I said, the case does get split with the bottom side on the ground. That's the top side right there. I was having fun with the shift forks. They were jamming up the top case trying to get it out. And the good news is, here we are, guys. Here's the diff with the speed gear. As you can see, speed gear is plastic. It looks very awesome in here, honestly. There's a bearing right here. Man, everything is pretty straightforward. As you can see, got the reverse shaft. Got some snap rings I gotta have fun with. Oh man, here we are, the inside of a getrag 5-speed. Oh man. So I think what I'm probably gonna do is take the diff off first. Well, let's go over here, see what we got going over here. Well, as you can see, there's all this stuff. Here's the speed gear, the speed sensor that rides on that plastic ring gear. Yeah, seals, of course, good old axle seal. Those are actually brand new, by the way. I did those before I put it back together. Yep. Not bad. If anything, it is actually really clean in there. So, let's get to work and see on how this thing comes undone so that we can do pretty much the whole rebuild kit.